get them before they rot. How to rot. Here in our green beans, you'll see them on the ground because the plants are loaded down and they have to be picked today. I like to do it on Sunday, but they've got to come off today. We couldn't do it yesterday because we got a little bit of rain. You can't pick them wet or you'll get moldy beans. I want to show you the difference between the rows. On the left-hand side is 8 weeks. The right-hand side row, they're the lighter green color, is 6 weeks. We've staggered them so that we don't get buried in beans all at one time. Another issue, you see that plant as it gets heavy with beans and falls over, you can't heal them up after a while or you'll be burying the bean itself. And I have an issue, these rows are too close together. I can't get gas-powered machinery in here. These leaves get sticky also, and if the tire or the rototiller touches them, it'll pull the plant right under and crush it, rip right out of the ground. And see, we're growing basically in sand here. And weed growth can be pretty spectacular. In fact, you look over here, this big 3 wheelbarrows full of weeds, that came out of these 5 rows yesterday. Tough work, but it looks good and the plants are doing well, so we're pretty fortunate we were able to do that. Get to the squash. We've already had 2 pickings of squash, and we're at the point now where we'll have to pick just about every day. There's one there, just about ready to go. Like for example, yesterday that was too small, whereas today it's just about ready to go. In fact, we've got a table full of squash in the kitchen already. There'll be more out of just this row and this row, and the family will be able to eat, so we'll probably sell it off and recoup some of our expenses. This row in the center is zucchini. Nobody really likes zucchini, but we seem to grow it. You gotta have zucchini in a garden. And it's been staggered. It's only 6 weeks old. So when our summer squash is dying off, the zucchini will kick in. Same thing right here. This is a butternut squash. He's also planted at 6 weeks. They're just getting going and they're coming along great. You don't normally see that in this area, a butternut squash growing so well. But we're looking forward to that. And I've got that little guy there just got planted. Those are, it's going to be an ornamental gourd. I've got a whole patch of those on another spot of ground. I've probably got maybe 100 vines. These big ornamental gourds that we decided to plant to see what will happen to them. This year, our little sparse in the melon patch, only 1/3 of what we put in the ground made it this far. And this is the watermelon capital of the world, but we've had a hard time on this particular piece of ground getting them to grow. So we're paying extra special attention this year to the cantaloupes. Want to try to get some success out of them. One other thing I wanted to show you, things that have been helping me along down here. For the new gardener, this little $1 piece of equipment is spectacular for getting in the ground and digging stuff out. A hand cultivator. It does a phenomenal job at getting these guys out of the ground. This is nut grass. It sends down. See that little nut right there? That goes down sometimes 6 inches or 8 inches in the ground, and you can pull the top off and you haven't killed the plant. Tomorrow it'll be back. So this little hand cultivator allows you to get in there and dig them out without destroying the plant, knocking it over. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And this guy here, this particular shower head attachment, because of the drought that we've had, we want to put water directly on the plants. So we don't want to water the weeds or the driveway or anything else. So we just basically take a hose with this guy here, put water directly on the plant. This one here simulates rainfall, the best one we've seen so far.